Hello and welcome to Lore Lodge by Juti. Mysteries, enigmatic answers, beyond miracles. In this episode, we bring you The Last Room, a tale of horror and mystery in an ancient hotel. In a world of colorful and exciting travel, we sometimes forget that every place has its own history and hidden stories. This is especially true for old hotels that have stood the test of time, witnessing countless lives passing through their doors, experiencing joy, sorrow, love, grief, and sometimes, death. The story we're about to tell is an unforgettable experience of two travelers who accidentally encountered mystery in an old hotel in Chiang Rai Province, the mountainous region of northern Thailand. They will encounter something beyond their expectations and learn that sometimes, the line between the world of the living and the dead is thinner than we think. We invite our listeners to join Ek and Hia Meng on a night when they will face their fears, uncover hidden truths, and learn valuable lessons about life, death, and compassion in a story called The Last Room. Get ready, because you're about to step into a world of mystery hidden behind the door of room 666 in that hotel, where the past and present are connected by the thin threads of memories and endless sorrow. The Last Room, a tale of horror and mystery in an ancient hotel. In the darkness of a chilly night in the northernmost reaches of Siam, in Chiang Rai Province, an ancient hotel building stood defiantly against the passage of time. The wind whistled through old weathered wooden windows, sounding like whispers of lingering spirits. This place had witnessed countless stories, joy and sorrow, love and vengeance, and sometimes, death. Ek, a young employee in his early 30s, and Hia Meng, his senior colleague, were arriving in Chiang Rai on a frigid winter night. Both were company employees who frequently traveled north to collect debts from clients. This journey had brought them to the distant province of Chiang Rai. The company's pickup truck drove through city streets that were busier than usual. Brightly lit billboards announced an ongoing Red Cross fair and an educational institution seminar in the province. Ek gazed tiredly through the car window, his exhaustion from the long journey making him feel dizzy and headachy. "What should we do, Ek?" Hia Meng asked as he slowed the car upon entering the hotel district. "Should we find accommodation first or get something to eat?" Ek shook his head slightly. "I think we should find a place to stay first, Hia. I'm not feeling well and want to rest." Hia Meng nodded in agreement, his eyes scanning for a suitable hotel. Finally, his gaze caught the sign of an old hotel nestled among modern buildings. "Let's try this hotel," Hia Meng decided, steering into a small alley leading to the hotel. As they approached, both saw an old colonial-style hotel that looked ancient yet dignified. Its cream-colored walls contrasted with a red brick roof, large windows lined up on each floor reflecting dim lights, giving the building a mysterious allure. Hia Meng parked in the nearly full parking lot, reflecting the city's bustling atmosphere during the event. They grabbed their travel bags and walked into the hotel lobby. The lobby was decorated with antique wooden furniture, old carpets covering the floor, and crystal chandeliers hanging from high ceilings. The atmosphere inside felt like stepping back in time, with the air heavy with the scent of age and long history. Ek and Hia Meng approached the reception counter, made of polished teak. A receptionist in a modern Thai outfit greeted them with a polite smile. "Welcome to our hotel. How may I help you?" she asked in a gentle voice. "We need a room, please." "A twin bedroom," Hia Meng replied. The receptionist looked at her computer, her face showing a hint of hesitation before looking up again. "I'm sorry, but our hotel is almost full. We have only one room left, which a guest just checked out of a moment ago." Hia Meng frowned slightly. "That's strange. This hotel isn't usually this full." The receptionist smiled awkwardly. "Yes, because of the seminar in the province, we have more guests than usual." "All right, we'll take that room then," Hia Meng decided. "Please wait a moment. The housekeeping staff is currently cleaning the room," the receptionist said before calling the housekeeping department. While waiting, Ek felt his headache worsening. He glanced around the lobby, his eyes catching an old photograph on the wall. It was a black and white image of the hotel from the past, with a group of people standing in front of it. Strangely, the faces of everyone in the photo were scratched out and blurred, except for one young woman standing in the center. She wore a Thai dress and had a sad smile. Ek felt a chill run down his spine. He turned to Hia Meng, who was filling out the registration form. "Hia, look at that picture," Ek whispered. Hia Meng looked up at where Ek was pointing. That's odd. Must be part of the hotel's history, I guess. Just then, the receptionist returned with the room key. Your room is ready. Please follow me. The three walked to an old elevator in the corner of the lobby. The elevator creaked as it ascended to the top floor of the hotel. The atmosphere inside was cramped and unsettling. Upon reaching their floor, the receptionist led them down a dimly lit corridor. Only the occasional orange glow from wall lamps provided light. The wooden floor creaked with every step. This is your room, the receptionist said, opening the door to room number 666. She handed the key to Hia Meng with a slightly tense smile. I hope you have a comfortable stay. If you need anything, please call the lobby anytime. Ek and Hia Meng entered the room. The receptionist closed the door softly behind them, leaving the pair in the dimly lit and eerily quiet room. Little did they know that this night would be one they would never forget. As the door closed, silence enveloped the room. Ek and Hia Meng stood still for a moment, their eyes scanning the surroundings. The room was decorated with antique furniture, and thick, dark red curtains covered large windows, creating a gloomy and oppressive atmosphere. Hia Meng walked over to switch on the lights. A soft yellow glow from old lamps illuminated the room, revealing more details. On the walls hung several old paintings, mostly landscapes of Chiang Rai. But one picture caught Ek's attention, a portrait of a young woman in traditional Thai dress. Her eyes looked sad and mysterious. Hia, I think I've seen this woman in the lobby picture, Ek said, pointing at the painting. Hia Meng came closer to look. You're right. They look similar. Strange, isn't it? Ek felt an inexplicable chill. He shook his head slightly, trying to shake off the odd feeling. I think I'll take a shower and go to bed, Hia. My headache is getting worse. All right, go ahead. I'll order some food, Hia Meng replied, picking up the room phone. Ek entered the bathroom. As the shower started running, he suddenly felt as if someone was watching him. He turned to look at the large mirror in the bathroom but saw only his reflection. Still, the uneasy feeling persisted. Ek hurried to finish his shower. When Ek came out of the bathroom, he found Hia Meng sitting on the bed near the balcony, watching TV. The food they had ordered was on the bedside table. Come and eat first, Ek, then we'll sleep, Hia Meng said. They ate in silence, with only the soft sound of the TV in the background. After eating, Ek collapsed onto his bed. Exhaustion quickly pulled him into sleep. In the middle of the night, Ek jolted awake with a strange feeling. He looked around the pitch-dark room, with only a dim light from the bedside lamp still on. His eyes caught sight of a figure sitting on Hia Meng's bed. Hia! Ek called softly, but there was no response. He sat up, trying to see more clearly. To his horror, he realized the figure was a woman with long hair in an ancient Thai dress, straddling the motionless Hia Meng. Ek felt his blood run cold. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. The woman's figure slowly turned to face Ek. Her face was as white as paper, with deep, dark eyes. Her lips parted in a smile that sent shivers down Ek's spine. Ek shut his eyes tightly, silently praying. When he opened them again, the woman's figure had vanished. Only Hia Meng remained on the bed, breathing heavily. Hia! Hia! Ek jumped up to shake Hia Meng. Hia Meng woke with a start, sitting up and gasping for air. Hey! Didn't you hear me calling you? I saw. Ek stuttered. Suddenly, the shower in the bathroom turned on, accompanied by a faint sound of a woman singing. Both men turned to look at the bathroom door in shock. The sound of water and singing from the bathroom continued. Ek and Hia Meng looked at each other in fear, neither daring to move. Hia, let's get out of this room, Ek whispered, his voice trembling. Hia Meng nodded slightly. They both got up quietly, hurriedly grabbing their clothes and bags, trying not to make any noise as they moved towards the door. But suddenly, the singing stopped, followed by the sound of the water being turned off. The silence that followed made the atmosphere even more oppressive. Ek felt as if his heart would leap out of his chest. He gripped the doorknob, silently praying for the door to open. When the door opened, they both rushed out quickly, running straight to the elevator without looking back. The sound of their footsteps echoed through the silent corridor. The elevator descended slowly, as if time had stopped. Both Ek and Hia Meng stood silently, breathing heavily, not daring to speak. When they reached the ground floor, they walked quickly to the reception desk. The night shift receptionist looked at them in surprise. "Can I help you with anything?" "We want to check out," Hiameng said, his voice shaking as he handed the room key to the staff. The young receptionist looked at the wall clock. "It's only 4 a.m., sir. Did something happen?" Ek and Hiameng looked at each other, unsure whether to tell what had happened. Finally, Hiameng decided to speak. "Well, we saw something strange in the room." The receptionist's expression changed immediately. He sighed deeply. "Room 666, right?" They both nodded. The young man looked around before whispering, "I'm sorry we had to put you in that room. We usually don't open it for guests unless absolutely necessary." "Why is that?" Ek asked curiously. The young man hesitated for a moment before explaining. "It's a story from many years ago. There was a woman, a singer in our hotel's restaurant. She was murdered in that room." He continued to tell that the woman's name was Newell, a hill tribe girl who came to work in the city to support her family. Newell had a beautiful voice and looks, which attracted many guests. But she always refused their advances. That night, one guest kept pestering her until she had to flee to her room. But he followed her. The young man continued with a sad voice. The next morning, the housekeeper found Newell's body on the bed. She had been suffocated with a pillow. Ek and Hiameng listened in horror. The story helped them understand what had happened in the room. "What about the culprit?" Hiameng asked. "Nobody knows. The police couldn't find him," the young man replied. Since then, people have often seen Newell's spirit in the hotel, especially in room 666. Ek remembered the painting in the room and the photograph in the lobby. "Those are her pictures, aren't they? The one in the room and in the lobby?" The young man nodded. "Yes, the hotel keeps her pictures as a memorial. But we dare not take them down for fear of angering her spirit." The three stood in silence for a moment, the atmosphere heavy with the tragic story they had just heard. "Why doesn't the hotel just close that room?" Ek asked. The young man shook his head. "The hotel owner says it's part of the hotel's history. And maybe Newell's spirit needs help. She might have some unfinished business." Ek and Hiameng looked at each other. Their fear was beginning to turn into sympathy for Newell's fate. "Is there anything we can do?" Hiameng asked. The young man smiled faintly. "Some people who have encountered Newell say she just wants people to know her story, and maybe she needs prayers for her to find peace." Ek and Hiameng nodded in understanding. They decided to stay until morning and asked the staff to take them to the hotel's shrine room to make merit and dedicate it to Newell's spirit. As the dawn light began to shine into this old hotel, Ek and Hiameng had learned important lessons about life, death, and compassion. They left the hotel with changed feelings, not just fear, but a deeper understanding of the mysterious dimensions of this world. They realized that sometimes the scariest thing isn't a ghost, but the cruelty that humans inflict upon each other. Conclusion: The Last Room, Lessons of Life and Death. The story of The Last Room is not just a spine-chilling tale, but a reflection of the truths about life and death that we all must face. The experience of Ek and Hiameng at the Sri Lanka Hotel has opened new perspectives on death and the afterlife. As stated in the Manual for Meditation Practice, by Luang Pho Faraj Brahmayan of Wat the Sung, Athai Thani Province, death is classified into 3 types. Samukha Marana, the final death, referring to the death of an arahant, enlightened being. Kanakamarana, small deaths, or the constant change of life from moment to moment. Kalamarana and Akalamarana, timely death at the end of one's natural lifespan, and untimely death due to some unwholesome karma, respectively. Thus, every life is close to death at every moment. Buddhism teaches us to live life mindfully and to constantly practice good deeds to mitigate the effects of our past actions. The lingering presence of Newell's spirit in the hotel may be due to her unresolved concerns, inability to accept reality, or unfinished business. This aligns with the Buddhist teaching that attachment and ignorance, avijja, are the causes of the cycle of rebirth. However, Buddhism also teaches that we can help these spirits through merit-making and dedicating the merit to them, which is exactly what Ek and Hiameng decided to do at the end of the story. This action demonstrates compassion and understanding of Buddhist principles. Moreover, this story reminds us to live life without negligence, recognizing that death can come at any time. Therefore, doing good deeds, creating merit, and constantly developing our minds are crucial. For the woman in the last room, if one day she encounters someone who practices good deeds and has the wisdom and merit to help her find the light, perhaps her karmic cycle could be released sooner according to her own field of merit. For Ek, this experience helped him realize the importance of forgiveness and letting go, instead of being consumed by anger and the desire for revenge. This aligns with the Buddhist principles of patience, khanti, and loving kindness, metta. In the end, The Last Room is not just an exciting story, but a valuable lesson reminding us to contemplate the impermanence of life, the importance of doing good, and the power of compassion towards both the living and the deceased. It encourages us to live life with mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, so that when our final moment comes, we can depart peacefully, leaving no suffering or negative karma behind. And that concludes our tale, The Last Room, a chilling story of a hotel room where a murder took place. If you don't want to miss any of our stories, please remember to follow, like, and share. Your support means a lot to us and encourages us to keep bringing you more stories like this one. Thank you so much.